What's up everyone, this is CoyneDawg here with another GTA video. So in this video we're going to be exploring my top 5 overpriced sports cars in GTA Online. So I did a video for this series a few weeks ago on the top 5 overpriced supercars, which I'll link below, and you guys seem to enjoy it. So I thought I'd move on to the sports class next and see what we could do there. So the sports class is an interesting class, being the largest class in the game by some margin, and it's got two tiers of cars in terms of pricing. All the old original cars are very cheap, and then the more modern ones from the DLC content are more expensive. As always, I've tried to look at more than just the performance of vehicles when making decisions. There's also the appearance and customization to consider. Not everyone buys vehicles just for racing. So first up, we've got the Bravado Valera. I think that's how you pronounce it. So this car was added way back in December 2015 as part of the Executives and Other Criminals DLC. The appearance of the car, in my opinion, is not attractive at all. The front end has quite an awkward appearance to it, with the front headlights looking almost like stickers rather than part of the actual car. The rear is a little bit more attractive with the rear spoiler attached to it, but you know, overall I don't think the car is much of a looker. And unfortunately the performance of the vehicle is not particularly good either when you compare it to the very top level of supercars. In terms of the pricing, this car is extremely expensive for the sports car class, coming in at almost $700,000. I mean, you could buy 5 Feltzers for that money and still have some change left over. So the next car on this list is the Bestia GTS, a car released into the game as part of the Further Adventures in Finance and Felony DLC way back in May 2016. Now the look of this car, in my opinion, is quite nice. It has a reasonably unique appearance to it, and the lines of it are quite attractive from the front, although the back end does look a little bit awkward to me. The vehicle styling shares some similarities with the Alfa Romeo and Ferrari brand of vehicle. You can really see the Italian flair that they've designed into it. The customization of the vehicle is reasonable. There's quite a lot of individual pieces you can change, but they don't have many options within them. That's the only thing I would say. The big problem, however, is the price. At $610,000, this is an awful lot of money to spend in a class that is dominated by low-cost vehicles with high levels of performance and plenty of customization. This is the result of Rockstar's business model changing over time to overpriced DLC vehicles to drive shark card sales. I feel like if the car had been included at launch, it would probably be less than $100,000 like the majority of other sports cars. So the third car on this list, if you can call it a car, is the BF Raptor. So the Raptor was given to us as part of the Bikers update in October 2016, and yet strangely this car is not a bike in terms of car class. It's classified as a sports car. I guess you could say it has an interesting appearance about it with the unusual single rear wheel, but it's not a sports car in my view. It has very poor levels of performance too, with it having an extremely unpredictable handling. It's very easy to spin out, and very limited customization given that there isn't actually much of a vehicle to customize in the first place. Now in terms of pricing, this car, and I use the term car loosely, is priced at almost $650,000. That's $216,000 per wheel, a crazy amount of money to spend on something like this, and once again demonstrates the changing business model that Rockstar adopted. So the fourth car on this list is the Drift Tamper. So this vehicle was presented to us as part of the Cunning Stunts update way back in July 2016, and I must say I am a bit of a fan of the way that this thing looks. However, once again, it's no sports car. It's quite clearly a muscle car, and only Rockstar know why it's been put into the sports car class. Now unfortunately the levels of customization on this car are almost non-existent as well, which is a real missed opportunity I feel. I feel like this car should have been a Benny's upgrade to the normal Tamper with a Benny's style customization to match. And given that it is in the wrong class as well, the performance levels are not up to scratch for a sports car. If they dropped it into the muscles class where it belongs, we'd have had a car that's a little bit off the pace of the top cars, but able to mix it with the midfield. The biggest issue I've got with the whole car though is the price. Weighing in at a cool $1 million, I mean just think of what else you could buy for that sort of money in this game. So the final car on this list will be no surprise to anyone, and it is of course the Lotlinx, another car given to us in the Cunning Stunts DLC of July 2016. Now the Lynx is the ultimate WTF vehicle in the game in my opinion, with poor performance, minimal customization, although I do like the livery with the British flag on it for obvious reasons, and an absolutely ridiculous price tag which we'll get to at the end. Now the Cunning Stunts DLC represented a real change in the Rockstar business model, with most vehicles since then featuring significantly lower prices than the cars we saw in that DLC. There isn't really much to say on the looks of the vehicle, so let's talk about the price. $1.735 million. I'd love to meet the person who priced this car up and see what the justification was for that price tag, because I can't see any personally. I suspect the idea was to price it so high that people would assume it was going to be the new quickest sports car and everyone would buy it. Even if you have the money to burn, please don't waste it on this car. So those are my top 5 overpriced sports cars. I think this list will be a little bit less controversial than the Supers video, as there is a real divide between expensive and cheap sports cars, whereas the Supers class is a lot more mixed up in terms of the pricing. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are. I'd really like to read them. I enjoy reading other people's opinions on these things. Please leave a like if you've enjoyed the video and subscribe if you haven't done already. That's all I've got for you guys today. Thanks very much, and I'll be back again soon.